Hello and welcome to another edition of Grandstanders Live. I'm your host, Scott Kerman, and I'm joined by my usual cohorts, Uncle Joe McLaughlin, and he's JP's first son, Tim Hoey. Well, we have another great show. Oh, he's doing Doyle's.
You
You got a check on that?
St. Patrick's Day. Well,
Oh,
no, they're
yeah.
closed now.
They supply him with cigars, so.
First of all, of course,
They'd go broke. They'd go broke if they did.
everyone knows, though my name is Kerman, nobody loves Irish people more than I do. Happy St. Patrick's Day to two of my favorite Irish people in
Thank
my
you, Joe.
life.
Thank you, Scott.
Should've
And I have to mention the lovely Kara's birthday is today. If she was born, her maiden name is Green. If she was born one day later, they were going to name her Kelly Green. But
Oh, fun. Oh, wow. You never
we got
told me that.
Kara.
Well,
Yeah.
happy birthday to Kara Hoey. There you go. I've never met Kara. It's like Norm
Mystery
in
woman.
Cheers.
She's a mystery woman.
It's like, what was Norm's wife in Cheers? What was her name?
Vera?
Yeah, was it Vera, Norm's wife? Yeah.
You're right.
I don't know.
They
be wrong.
even at the end of the Cheers seasons, they never showed Vera. They never did it once. They never went into that. All right,
she's
so
the
boys,
Fox
we have,
shoes. Go ahead, Scotty. Sorry.
we have so much to talk about. I don't even know how to get started, but it's all bad. So I just want to say that right now.
Yeah, it's like we don't have anything to talk about. It's complete inaction.
No, it's just okay, right. Well, there's some
They
action.
should be dispensing like medication all around Boston today, like antidepressants right now. Because
I think we all have plenty of those already, Timmy, to take. I don't think they've already dispensed them.
We have our pills to ease the pain.
Yeah.
And that's why St. Patty's Day, I've heard that if you drink some alcohol, that helps too. I heard that. I don't know. Vicious rumor. We'll start with the Patriots. And I asked Maxie, who should I start with what? Pick your poison, Patriots or Red Sox. We'll start with the Patriots. This is who the Patriots have lost in the last 24 hours. Shaq Mason. And that deal, let's talk about Shaq Mason first. Joe, are you okay? Because I know that Joe needed some
Shaq Mason was a great player for many years for them. For about 6 years. Good, great player. Way above average at the guard position. I thought he played great last year. Maybe the Patriots thought otherwise. Well, especially only getting a fifth-round draft pick for that guy.
Would you consider him a top 5 guard in the NFL, like a lot of people have said in the last day or two?
I don't know if he was still there, but most of his career he was.
So, Timmy, why do you get rid of him for a 5th-round pick?
What, Joe? What's his salary at? Did he have? Was he a free
No, it
agent?
wasn't big. It was like $8 million. He's paid highly, but Tampa Bay, who was way over the cap, seems to be able to find room for him. All these other teams can find room. The Packers were at what? -30. They were $30 million over the cap before the offseason started, and they were able to sign a guy for $60 million a year, and then tag Devontae Adams for another $20 million. And then over the cap to start with. How do these other teams do it?
Yeah.
And the Patriots can't.
And the days of people coming here on the cheap are over. Those days have gone. But now here's a big question.
That will happen. That will still happen, Tim. Because guys have to be on proven contracts. That's what Belichick is waiting on. These guys that get desperate a week or two from now. And then we'll jump at anything because
but what I'm saying, Joe, is Brady. People come here to resurrect their career with Brady. You know what I mean? Those days are gone.
Yeah,
I can't think of a single person who did that made the team.
Well,
yeah, but no, look,
Randy Moss in some ways.
he got traded.
You know
He
I
got
mean?
traded.
Yeah.
That was a straight up trade.
Yeah,
But
but
he had to ask for it. You know what I'm saying? That kind of thing.
the
Well,
issue
he'd
I
ask
have,
that to anyone.
the issue I have, and to me, we talked about it with Stephon Gilmore, is the 6th-round pick, and Bill Belichick now the 5th-round pick. I don't think Bill Belichick is shopping these players at all. I think he makes one call, and if a guy offers him anything, he takes it. Because this doesn't sound like Shaq Mason was put on the open market for bids.
I was listening to a sports show today, and it's a guy that really follows the Patriots closely. He said Belichick's putting in about a fifth of the time he used to. Looking after players and scouting up players and shopping around and going to this place and that place. He used to be thoroughly impressed with the amount of work that Belichick put into it. And he just doesn't see even a shade of that effort anymore.
Well, who at 70 years old?
To be the scouts, don't you think? And to be the personnel analysts.
But Joe, compared to what he used to do, was the comparison. I'm sure he outdid everyone before. Maybe he's just normal now.
What 70-year-old is going to outwork 40-year-olds? It doesn't.
You're not going to be on the road 9 months of the year like a young guy in his 20s. And that's what all these scouts are.
Hey, I'll tell you, he's messing with his own legacy here because he's going to be judged with Brady, without Brady. And if this continues to slide, maybe we give him a year past COVID and everything. Last year, he got a new quarterback. It's going to be like, hey, you're 3-4 years removed from Brady now, and you're still having almost 500 seasons here. We're just going to have to conclude that you rode Tom Brady's coattails.
Absolutely. There's no question about it. And all of a sudden now you're seeing a lot of players. You saw coaches leave. They were happy to leave. And McDaniels took a lot of guys. They could have stayed, but they didn't. Now you see in last hour, boys, breaking news from the Grandstanders live desk. Brandon Bolden is gone and Jacob Johnson is gone, both signing with the Raiders. So everybody wants to get out of Dodge right now.
And also an old Patriot, Chandler Jones, just signed with the Raiders too.
Well, I'm sure that's purely a money thing. I'm sure the Raiders threw more money out.
All football contracts are purely money. No one signs to play with Brady.
And if I were those guys, $1,000 would make me go somewhere else because they have such a limited life expectancy.
You only get one contract other than their rookie deal.
Yeah,
I don't blame them.
McDaniels tried to sign James White too, and that's
really
Patriots re-signed White, and it was between the Raiders and the Patriots, and obviously the Patriots offered more money.
Yeah, so they all got the guy with the hip injury, and we know hip injuries are running backs.
So
hip injuries, he'll probably get cut. Watch.
So we've lost J.C. Jackson. We haven't even spoken about that yet. J.C. Jackson, Shaq Mason, Ted Karras, Brandon Bolden, Jacob Johnson, right? Those 5 guys in the last few days. That's
and wait, Gunnar Rashevsky, they did not tender an offer to either.
Yeah, Gunner's going to be gone too. These are guys that played lots of snaps.
And, Trent Brown is currently in Seattle talking to the Seahawks.
Yeah, and he won't get out of Seattle.
So that would be like half the offense.
Yeah.
Gone.
We lost coaches, right, guys?
Wait, is Trent Brown a free agent?
Yes.
Oh, he's gone. He's gone. See you later.
Yeah.
And every single offensive coach is gone.
Yeah. This team is being gutted.
Offensive line, he's gone. He went with Josh. Quarterbacks coach, he went with Josh. Josh is gone. Running backs, Ivan Fears is supposed to retire.
Yeah, he's going to retire.
So that's everyone. That's the entire offensive coaching staff. It's all new people. That's why he's bringing back guys like McCourty and Slater. Someone's got to help these.
Wait, Joe.
They don't know what they're doing.
Joe, we signed the punter too.
Yeah. No, the field goal kicker, Nick Folk. Yeah, they.
Folk. Sorry.
Every guy they re-signed was over 30. And in the NFL, over 30 is a death sentence.
I think it's because their coaching staff is all rookies. They're all kids that should still be quality control or scouts type guys, They had to move up so quickly. They need a helping hand. They need a coach, coach in the locker room with them.
Let's not minimize the fact that the playoff game against the Bills was the worst defensive performance in the history of playoff football. The worst. Could not be any worse than that.
Not the worst. It was a 73-0 beating.
But this was perfect. Every time they had the ball, they scored a touchdown. I assume the 73, they must have scored some touchdowns, defensively.
Defensively and special teams.
So, okay, this was you can't get any worse than that. So we are much further away from competing for another Super Bowl than we think we are, I think, right?
So, and Bill We Trust is gone.
No, right.
I think he's been told do it on the cheap. They did it on the cheap last year. The PR said, all the people said, "Oh, he's spending money like crazy." They were still well below the cap. Almost every other team in the league spent more money last year than they did. This year, they're not spending money. I think maybe Kraft said, "I want to let Jonathan put a little in his back pocket."
Oh, there's no question.
But do you really believe that? You don't believe they have enough money where they just want to put the best team they can?
And
You really think that
it's not just a toy; it's their business. It's Jonathan's business.
Yeah, but they when you have a winning team, it must generate more money, right? If you have a crappy team,
they share it all.
But Timmy,
even like the lot, even the jersey sales and everything, shared.
Timmy,
The only thing they keep is the preseason and the ticket sales.
look, Kraft was complaining last year when he handed out all those contracts. This is a guy who's supposed to be worth $6 billion, and he's complaining about putting some money toward employees. Yeah,
They didn't even get to the cap anywhere close.
Yeah, Joe's right. Kraft didn't want to spend that money because Kraft's used to a certain amount at the end of the
Belichick
day.
has always given him a winning team with a team in the top third of the league with a bottom third of the league payroll. He was like the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
because we had a certain quarterback. Those days are gone.
That helps. Oh, and they started with a whole bunch of talent. And were able to keep a core rolling over. They don't have all that talent now. There's no Willie McGinnis.
Yeah, they whiffed on a bunch of drafts. I mean, they drafted well last year. We have to give them credit for that.
Yeah, but those kind of you've got to do those. You've got to have strong drafts 3, 4, 5 years in a row before you start building a franchise.
Scotty, you know what? Go and look. They haven't given a first or a second round draft pick a second contract since Hightower. Dante Hightower is the only guy. You got to go all the way back to Dante Hightower. Every other person's second round draft pick since then gone.
They let them walk. They let them walk.
Winovich got traded. Winovich got traded. It was another.
He wasn't a second round.
I thought he was the second round pick.
Nah, he was a third.
Okay, but again, that was another failed pick. Josh Uche, failed pick. I mean, we can just go down the road.
He's still on the team, but he hasn't been offered a second contract. Uche was second rounder.
Juwan Williams, absolute fail.
Still not offered a second contract. Isaiah Wynn, they picked up the option on. Probably because they knew they were going to do this to the offensive line.
If you're going to get rid of anyone, you would have got rid of Wynn, right, Timmy?
Yeah, I would agree. He was
the worst.
He's sitting on the bench half the time injured, I mean, and when he's out there, he's really nothing great.
But what is a fifth round pick? And also the fifth round pick for the Tampa Bay is like a sixth because they're at the end of the round. Where does that benefit? How do you benefit from that?
A lot of young guys on cheap contracts.
But how do you move forward a Mac Jones when you do have this advantage, guys, of having Mac Jones in a rookie contract? This is
Scotty. There's no reasoning behind it. I don't know which way you can slice this, where this says this makes sense. I mean, I just can't figure it out. I mean,
Mac Jones is just an employee. They don't care about him.
Is Kraft content, to make a few extra bucks? I mean, how much money can you spend in a lifetime? Is he content to just, be bottom third of the league and line his pockets with money? I mean, is that his objective at this point?
There's a waiting list to get a season ticket, Jim. Yeah. As long as that's there, what motivation does he have to do otherwise?
And also,
they've always put this presentation out there that they're committed to a championship. Is that just bullshit or what?
Yeah.
It's feeling like that right now because I think Joe makes, opening the show, he makes.
Remember, they always say, "Oh, we Spencer kept. They're always in the bottom third of the league." Remember, a few years ago, they weren't making the floor, and they had to pay the Players Association millions of dollars to disperse amongst all the players that had gotten screwed by them.
Wow.
This is also a typical Red Sox move. The Red Sox over the years, would let some of their best players go, and then they'd end up signing a guy for more money to play first base. It was always like that. That's always the way they rolled. So if you're going to replace a Mason, if you're going to replace a Karras, you're going to replace a J.C. Jackson, you're going to have to spend just as much money or more.
Mason was a fourth-round pick. You should have got at least that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's where to me, the main argument of this deal is that the fifth-round pick is just not acceptable.
Yeah, it's not good value.
And
I don't understand it. I just don't understand it at all.
And for a team that had a lot of positive energy at the end of the season, despite how the season ended, they've used up all their goodwill.
Well, despite how it ended horribly. Like you said, Buffalo scoring on every time they had the ball. Yeah. Our only ray of hope was Mac Jones, really. So what we expected would probably keep the core and add some people. Well, we've lost a lot of the core now, right? I mean, Bolden had a great year last year. I mean, that was Russell must be depressed right now, right?
Oh my God. Yeah, the professor.
He can't eat that dinner because of this.
He could not. Professor Russ Stevens could not appear on the show tonight because he's so emotionally upset over BB.
Bolden's
departure.
Brandon Bolden, not Bill Belichick.
And he is looking at him and his wife right now are looking on Realtor.com for a home in Vegas.
He's just sitting there staring at the wall.
Nevada, here they come.
Yeah, this is all right. So things have not. And now a year ago we were sitting pretty. We were signing free agents. It was like we
got Mac Jones in the draft. We got this. We got that.
It's like someone gave you like a $500 gift card to Dunkin' Donuts, and you're just like, everybody, coffee here, donuts here. It was the best.
We traded up to get Barmore. Everything was going.
Give us some. We're gonna haul pass because of COVID and blah blah blah. I don't get it, guys. I'm
so tired of every time a guy gets cut on a big name, they immediately say that the Patriots are in on it. The Patriots aren't in on anyone.
That sounds like, remember the Celtics under Danny? Every year, whoever the big free agent was, the Celtics are going to get this. And they never even tried to get them.
They're not in on anyone. Now, Julio Jones just got cut. And first of all, if Julio Jones got cut up, that guy, he's clearly washed up. And when wide receivers are washed up, that's Chad Ochocinco washed up.
He'll have a Patriots uniform. You'll watch.
Oh my God! Yeah,
he won't work that cheap. That's the thing with him. I don't think he'd work a cut rate deal. You either pay him the going rate, or he doesn't play.
Yeah, and I want to continue on Joe. Your point is the Kansas City Chiefs. Even though they have Mahomes' contract, they seem to be signing everybody they want to.
Yeah. Their offensive line probably costs more than the whole Patriots team.
Yeah, they're not worried about money. And they're located in Kansas City.
The one that drives me crazy is Green Bay. Do you realize his contract in the 5 years averages $60 million a year? And 60. That's
guaranteed.
Now, is Devontae Adams still locked up with Green Bay, or do they have to re-sign him?
They tagged him for $20 million.
So $20 million to him, $50 million to the quarterback. That's $70 million right there. What's the cap, Joe?
I forget. But actually, the way they wrote Rodgers' contract, he's only going to be like $9 million on the cap this year, because his salary is only $1.5 million this year. And it's a $40 million signing bonus. So he gets $42 million this year. But that signing bonus is prorated over the 5 years. So 5 minus 40 is 8 plus 1.5. 9.5 is his cap hit this year.
So there's a way to sign people. There's a way to sign people, obviously,
Oh, yeah, and he's gonna eventually have it averages out to $60 million a year. They figure next year and the year after there's going to be a huge increase
Yeah,
in the salary cap, and that's what a lot of these teams how they're writing their contracts.
you pay it down the line.
Well, everybody except for us, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Well, they've always been the Patriots have always been a conservative team, and they've won. Now with the rest of the league is jumping on like the teams like the Rams and the Chargers that never with this crazy spending are out there spending. You got Vegas.
No, you would say
that whole AFC West is all spending like crazy. It's
so. Are their owners richer than our owner? Is that what it is?
No one's richer than anyone else. It's that look. Joe had said it before on a thread. There's no question. It's because Bob Kraft is getting married. Weddings are expensive.
Remember, he had the Rolling Stones for a birthday party.
Yeah, I mean, come on. You see that?
He'll have Elton John at this one. Watch.
Yeah. You see the
I
Rock?
think he's had Elton John before.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
had Elton John.
Yeah. You see the Rock he gave, and the woman's one of the top ophthalmologists in the world.
Yeah.
So so
37 years younger than him.
He'll be able to see her take all his money.
So that Viagra costs a lot of money these days.
Oh my God.
Yeah, but think of what he'll save in massage parlors.
But those Viagra's are what, $30 a pop? I mean, he's gonna be loading up on it.
They got them down there. They used to be 90. Now they're down to about $5. Now it's generic.
I don't
Costco,
know.
At Costco on
Yeah,
special.
Costco, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. You're right. All right, that's enough of the Patriots. All right, so we're gonna go to the Red Sox, and all I wanted was Schwarber and Suzuki. And within
Suzuki,
an hour
I would have
today-
passed on Schwarber. All I wanted was Suzuki. That's all.
Yeah, right. And then within 1 hour, Suzuki. Now he was rumored to go to the Padres, and everyone's like, "Okay, that's done." As Timmy would say, a fait accompli.
But complete.
But all of a sudden he goes to Chicago, and he doesn't care about playing in a warm city because Chicago ain't warm ever.
Yeah.
And so he signs with the Cubs, and then Schwarber signs with the Phillies, and now the Red Sox have nothing. We didn't add any new players.
You realize that the biggest contract that Hein has signed with anyone on that club is Kiki, $7 million. 7.
Yeah, and
That's the biggest. That's the biggest.
And
Hey,
he's
I think he's still in Tampa Bay.
Well, this is
Maybe
how he
maybe
operates.
he's still hired him for this purpose too. Maybe that's why.
I'm sure the Red Sox brass, said if we ever see another deal like the chubby third baseman got, Chris Sale got, like you'll be back in Tampa.
Yeah.
So he's got his marching orders, and he's done okay operating like this. I gotta give the guy credit.
That roster looks terrible this year, don't you?
Well, it's the same roster. It's the same roster we had last year, except for
No, it's
Schwarber,
not.
right?
No. I mean, when
So
you
with
lose-
The only
Schwarber,
outfielder we have is Verdugo now.
yeah, I mean,
Kiki's playing second base.
Kiki's at second now.
That's
well, he'll
his
play center.
natural
He
position.
can play center. I thought Jackie Bradley was gonna be the 25th man in the roster.
I did too.
No, he's a
Starting-
starter and regular. The worst hitter in the history of the game.
Yeah, he's currently your right fielder.
Yeah.
Starting right fielder. So
I thought he'd be put in the ninth for defensive purposes. That's the only time we'd see him, but apparently not.
Well, we were hoping Suzuki would be the right fielder.
Yeah,
He-
I thought that was a fait accompli, but
which is ridiculous. He signed for 5 years, $85 million, which is quite reasonable.
very reasonable.
You didn't have to give up any draft pick compensation. You didn't have to give up any prospects. All you had to do is give money.
And that would have rounded out. That was such a key component to this team. I believe that he was like one of the final pieces, as far as I was looking at.
A
A
right-handed,
huge piece.
yeah, an athletic right-handed hitter playing the outfield.
Yeah.
And you needed that, and they weren't willing to do that. And clearly, Suzuki had to chase because the Padres didn't give him enough money, and then all of a sudden the Cubs were able to swoop in. Schwarber, I can understand because, like we talked about before, Schwarber and JD Martinez were duplicate skill sets.
Well, I heard today Schwarber had the worst physical in the history of Major League Baseball.
He kind of looked at when he was playing first base last.
4
And
years, yeah.
I'll be surprised if he hits 30 again. I will be.
Yeah,
I'd be surprised. He's a good hitter.
yeah. But he does have injury
He's a pitcher,
concerns, Joe. He has injury concerns, Joe. He does get injured a lot. But yeah, look, at the DH position now in the National League, he's perfect for the Phillies. That was a great.
Yeah, he was made to be a DH now. He'll be a star over there. You know who's gone? Is the lefty you like? Not Darwin's and Hernandez. The other kid that.
Taylor?
Yeah, Josh Taylor.
No, he's not.
Why did they get these two guys?
No.
He's unvaxxed. I think he's him and Sales the last two.
Oh, he's unvaxxed. Oh, he's unvaxxed.
Yeah. And Sam Kennedy said today, we're putting a premium on that. We want guys who are available.
Oh wow.
What does
Taylor.
the union have to say about that?
The union says that everyone should be able to make a choice.
Yeah, you can make a choice. That doesn't mean they have to keep you on the team, though.
I forget who the union steward is with the Sox now.
Well, look. I like Josh Taylor a lot. I would be very sad. I think he's pitched really well for the Red Sox.
But that's why they picked up these two lefty relievers.
Yeah,
Like, don't you
clearly.
think?
And I would assume that any kind of deal they make, they'll throw in Darwinson because I think they've had enough of him.
Well, we throw in Taylor.
What
I think Taylor has more value in a trade than Darwinson. Darwinson's control is just well. Then Josh had trouble with the control too sometimes.
But wait, also it's actually more interesting with the Yankees. Isn't Judge and Stanton not vaccinated? I think Judge and Stanton are both not vaccinated.
And they can't play any games in the Yankee Stadium.
I know, right? This is
Really?
Yeah. So unless the
And like Kyrie in New York, you got to be vaccinated.
so they won't be able to play in Toronto. So
Did
assume-
they have not relaxed that rule yet?
no. I'm assuming
And the other thing is, like the Red Sox could come in if the whole team was unvaccinated and they could play. The visiting players don't have to be vaccinated.
Yeah.
But the New Yorkers do.
and thankfully Xander is vaccinated now.
Oh,
And we-
Plawecki is getting his next week, and Arroyo got his already too.
next week, why does Plawecki have? What does he have to wait next week for?
Well, the line at CVS is very long, Scott. So
I got my final shot a week or two ago at Fenway Park on a Sunday morning, and I was the only one. There were like 20 employees and me. And when I left, there was nobody else heading in. This is Fenway Park. So I think somehow if Kevin, backup catcher, wants to get vaccinated today, I think he can do it.
That my booster shot was the same way, Scotty.
Yeah, that's just
I had a captive market.
that's typical baseball stuff. They always delay everything, right? He's gonna throw off the mound in a week. And everything is just delayed.
Dale isn't going to even pick up a baseball for
he's getting a shot next week. How ludicrous is that? He has to wait 10 days. It's a 10-day waiting line, at Fenway Park where,
I
Well,
can't.
it must be down south now. He's a catcher, so he has to be there already. I think the first game's tomorrow. Of all, he's the starter.
Yeah, on St. Patty's Day. I can't tell you how much I hate Chris Sale. I know Russ Stevens hates Chris Sale more than I do. And
He
Chris
hates
Sale,
that contract.
he's a phony tough guy. And from now on, we know Grandpa Gordon Hayward. I think we're gonna should we give
Iron Man status compared to Chris Sale.
Chris Sale's grandma from now on? Grandma Chris Sale,
Granny Chris?
Grandma Chrissy Sale. We'll call him Grandma Chrissy. Or Nana. What do you pick? Grandma Chrissy
Yeah,
or
I like
Nana
Granny.
Granny.
You like
I
Granny?
like Nana Sale.
I will call him Nanny Chrissy. What do you think?
Danny Chrissy. There we go.
Nana, Timmy.
Nanny.
Okay, so he's
Great.
banana. He's a phony tough guy. Now he's finds out he still hasn't been vaccinated, and I would say that he has the worst physique. I'm including every fat guy who's ever played for professional sports. He is so skinny. I've never seen a skinnier guy in professional sports.
He broke a rib. He broke a rib just throwing. Is that
Yeah.
true?
Yes.
It's
He has to
just
fight.
fracture. Yeah, probably coughing from smoking too much weed.
Probably. Joe, I don't even know. I think we should end the show. I don't know how I can top
Has he
that.
been spotted? Has he been spotted at the dispensary too?
Sure.
Joe, you called it. Timmy and I thought it was
Oh,
some
I
kind
broke something. I broke
Yeah,
something.
you were giving him the benefit of the doubt. I won't do so.
Tim and I thought it was some puritanical thing where it was so beautiful and wonderful. He was throwing, and
Yeah.
Joe called it, right, Timmy?
Not chance.
He had that big bong, that big giant bong.
It's so true. He's a phony. He's a phony baloney. He talks
See,
tough,
I don't know. I like the guy. You know, Chris. Scotty. He's just
but
gets
he
hurt.
hasn't
You
done
know?
anything. He hasn't really pitched since 2018.
I know he's physically injured. You know what I mean?
You
He
remember
took that
how
big.
bad
Took
he
that.
was in 18? How bad he was?
Oh
He
no! In
took
the
the big. He
playoffs,
took the big. He took the big hit off the bong and cracked the rib. It happens, Scotty. You know, I mean,
So
Coughing so bad, you know, you break a rib.
Timmy, you called.
who
you
hasn't
said
broken a rib? Who hasn't broken a rib taking a
Little
hit off the bong?
stress fracture. Little.
Come on.
that- Come on, that's right. Timmy, you called them a worse signing than Sandoval. Will you stick to that?
Yeah, I mean, it's just what were they smoking the day they signed that contract? I
That
mean,
was Dombrowski. That was
Oh,
Dombrowski's little gift.
Dombrowski threw money around.
Yeah, he
Dombrowski's the
disappeared.
reason we have Hine now. Hine's the anti-Dombrowski. Hey, I had Dombrowski gave us a championship. I mean, you know,
Yeah.
is that what we want? You know, I mean,
That's his job.
He was already fired. He knew he was fired when he gave him that contract. I guess Henry hit the roof. But
I think the way negotiations with Dombrowski used to be. Okay, come on, and what do you want? Okay, we'll give it to you. All right, go ahead. Yeah.
That's the
I'm
way.
fired. I don't care.
But that's the way he used to trade. Remember, he used to just throw in that Travis Shaw deal.
Yeah.
He
Who
kept
do you
on
want?
throwing in
Who do you
fight-
want? Who do you want? You can have. Just give us the guy we want. You know?
That crappy reliever. He gave him Travis Shaw and like 4 top prospects.
And then the guy gets here and doesn't play at all.
He was terrible. Yeah,
He got us a championship, but then you know it's freaking decimation when he leaves. You know.
and no, Dombrowski's in Philadelphia signing Schwarber, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he does not mind spending other people's money.
Yeah, what you know, he might win a championship. Then it's like an atomic wasteland once he leaves. You know, it's.
Remember, Dombrowski was living in John Henry's guest house.
I lived there.
I know. So we didn't. So we lost Schwarber. He was on the team. I know he's a free agent, but he was playing for the Red Sox. We didn't get Suzuki. All we signed were 2 left-handed pitchers. We have needs in right field. We have needs at second base. Sale is no longer viable from possibly the whole year, right?
But the whole year?
I mean, if a guy stress fracture,
He'll keep those stress fractures. Oh, they just keep coming back.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. But
Yeah.
here's what I'm hearing. That Bloom has a plan. This guy's got a plan, a backup plan, and a backup plan after that.
yeah, okay, then you tell me, Timmy.
I don't know what it
I thought
is.
for sure. I thought for sure Suzuki, when you got rid of Renfro at the deadline, literally at midnight.
Yes.
He had
Scotty.
to get rid of Renfro, took Bradley back. What is the plan now that you didn't get Suzuki?
I don't know. You know, I thought for sure Suzuki was going to be on this team. I mean, I had a chiseled in stone that he was going to be here. I thought, you know, they'd open the piggy bank for him a little bit. I can't believe 5 years, 85, we couldn't do that. I mean, that's such a doable contract.
Yeah.
And Milwaukee's got him in the Brewers Hall of Fame getting rid of JBJ because didn't they sign him to like 4 or 5 years?
Oh,
It's just,
yeah,
Now we've got that contract.
we're paying him that money, right? We're paying.
Yeah.
We're
Yeah.
paying. Is JBJ making more than Suzuki would make right now? I mean,
Yes,
no,
that's it.
no,
He was
JB
making about 12 a year. 12 a
Well,
year.
okay. So what does that average out to? About 17, 18?
5 times 12 is 60.
No, he
No,
got
but
like
I mean,
$24
Suzuki.
yeah,
What Suzuki's getting 85 for 5, right?
17. So he gets
15.
17 a year to me.
17. I mean, 5 million to get a player that much better than
Well, this is
Bradley.
the last year that we're paying David Price, and we're paying him 17 million to not play for the Red Sox.
Yeah.
So I mean, it'd be nice to pay someone to actually play.
Are we
for
still
the Red
paying Sandoval?
Sox.
No,
We're
he's
gonna
done.
stop paying Sandoval. You know,
But there's 3 years now that in the first 2 years they were under the tax. So they're in no penalty situation.
they can
Both
spend
those
all
years
they
they were
what
under
they
the
want,
tax.
and they have a lot of money coming off the books after this year. Okay, all I'm gonna say is in Heim's defense, and you know I like Heim a lot.
I know you're his #1 fan.
We were ripping him as fans, as Red Sox fans will do. We were ripping him at the deadline for not doing much. And he ended up getting Schwarber, who was fantastic. Ended up getting that reliever, the kid from California, who the guy who gave us all nervous breakdowns, but he actually pitched pretty well. So that he did well in the deadline.
I thought he did too, and I thought he was going to be terrible.
And Rizzo over Schwarber. I mean, Schwarber over Rizzo ended up being a great move.
No, Rizzo, there's an opportunity there to. I think Rizzo would be a lot better. I don't know what the Yankees paid him.
Yeah, I don't
Free
see
agent.
him on the downward. He backed like 150.
Dahlbeck, except at the price. Dahlbeck is still on a rookie deal.
Yeah, and Tristan Cases, from what I hear, and they better not get rid of Cases. They say he's already ready. Some people who in the know pencil him for 30 home runs this season in Fenway Park. I mean, they say he's that freaking good.
We're gonna see him.
Oh, I think we're going to see him early and often. I'm not completely convinced that they don't put Dahlbeck in left field and put Verdugo in right.
I could see that happening.
Yeah, but then that Dahlbeck, anytime it's a halfway decent pitcher, he's just a hole. He's just a hole.
Joe, I completely agree.
Well, he was,
can-
in theory, in his rookie season last year, Joe. You would hope that they worked with him because the guy, I mean, obviously he has power up the yin yang. And, we need to be putting some guys, if Schwarber can play left field, if JD Martinez can play left field, why can't Dahlbeck?
Yeah.
Well, like Joe said, though, Dahlbeck cannot hit good pitching.
Well, right now, not even good pitching to me. He can't hit velocity over 90.
I know.
I mean, anyone can get the ball
You
by.
get into the playoffs. You know what we saw in the playoffs. Every guy's throwing 95 plus. Every guy.
That's a great point, Tim. It was embarrassing in the playoffs to see Renfroe and Dahlbeck were literally automatic outs and could not make contact against legitimate pitching in the playoffs.
Yeah.
And on the other front, on the other side, you see that where Devers said today that Red Sox haven't contacted him in any way, shape, or manner about any kind of extension. Because they were asking about because that Olsen kid that got traded from the A's to the Braves immediately signed him to an 8-year deal.
Yeah, this will be interesting to see how Hine handles that.
Well, it's not Heim, Timmy. It's John Henry. The Red Sox are a line item to him right now. It's pretty clear. And, I've said it for years. John Henry should sell the team.
I wouldn't mind that.
We need a guy like Steve Cohen from the Mets who's got plenty of dough and is more willing, happy to spend it. And if the Red Sox were put up for sale, can you imagine the money that would come to this to buy this franchise?
What do you think it's worth?
I think it's worth probably
$4 billion,
$3 to $5 billion, right?
Well, especially when you get Nesson.
Yeah, absolutely.
Nesson would probably be part of. But I don't know if you can. It's hard to break off a piece because it's all part of Fenway Sports Group. So it's selling little slivers. You don't know how the deal would work, whether they get Nesson with it or not.
But
the Yankees with yes, I mean that's similar situation.
Well, I bet the Red Sox make more money with nothing than they make in ticket sales. Easily.
They used to, obviously people don't sign up for cable as much as they used to, so obviously the rates are lower. But that was a cash cow. Yeah, there was a point where Nesson was worth more than the Red Sox.
Wow.
Which is unbelievable. The last thing I want the Red Sox to do, thankfully, Zach Greinke, who literally could not pitch anymore, the Kansas City Royals gave him $13 million today. I don't even know if the Kansas City Royals watch baseball. I don't even know who's running that organization. Thankfully, Greinke is not coming to the Red Sox. I know Kenley Jansen. You'll hear me scream from Brookline if Kenley Jansen gets signed. And you'll also hear me scream. I've heard rumors that, and Timmy, you won't believe this one. I mentioned this to Joe. The Red Sox may acquire Will Myers from San Diego as another salary dump like Jackie Bradley Jr. in exchange, again, same kind of move where the Padres would also give prospects.
Couple of crap prospects.
So we would have two guys in the outfield whose sole purpose is to play for the Red Sox because they brought back prospects.
Right in the hand.
This is how he operates, though. He loads up the minors with big time talent.
Yeah, but this is a big time talent he's getting. With that on the JBJ deal, they would just.
Well, Joe, they're gonna rebate us 15% on our tickets if they do that.
Oh no! Oh, I just want to mention the tickets, guys. You know how they gave us that little disc?
Yeah.
So
I haven't looked at my credit card.
Right, so it's like $110 each. Okay, so to the audience, we got a refund for the first 6 games for our seats. Now the 6 games are coming back in different dates. Typical Red Sox. Not only
wait, don't tell me. They're charging us more now because it's later in the season.
I am betting. I would bet $1,000 right now. That's exactly the crap they'll
because
pull.
It'll be like a Wednesday in June versus a Tuesday in April.
That's a bingo, Timmy. That's exactly. Watch them do that because all of a sudden they said,
now, wait a minute. Why they were going to be on the road the first week of the season? So cancel the first week of the season.
No, they weren't. No, Joe. They were opening up at Fenway.
Yeah, March 31st at Fenway, right?
Games were at Fenway
against the Florida team, of course. That makes a lot of sense.
Oh my God! So because I know one of the dates is August 11th. There's no way they're not going to charge prime rates for.
They're not charging us $32 for that seat.
They're going to charge
us $79 or something.
They're unbelievable. It's I don't even know what to think anymore. But exactly they're going to do that. It's a shell game. All it is a shell game, and we can never find the ball. We think that's where the ball is, and the ball's not there.
They probably planned that all along on the negotiations.
Right? Oh my God!
And it'll be for a 7-inning double. It'll be for a 7-inning doubleheader game too.
I know. Oh,
they'll get charged 2 admissions. Yeah.
Okay,
well, they gotta make up for those 2 Cokes we would have bought in the 8th. You know what I mean?
Well, your sausages. I don't even. If sausages were a stock, I'm totally investing in it. Timmy has fallen in love with the sausages. Fallen in love.
In the year.
I mean, he
didn't get any supper by the time he got to before he went to the game.
I'm going to the bathroom. I'll go, Timmy. I'm going to the bathroom. You going to get some sausages? No, Timmy. I said I'm going to the bathroom. What word? How did you confuse bathroom with?
Oh, so you're going to get sausages? You said. Scotty, I can't go to put my pants on and they're too small or too big. You know what I mean? I have to. I'm real comfortable with that notch in the belt, right where it is. I can't be breaking a new hole in on the belt.
Oh my God! And he sucks them down like they're shot glasses. Oh,
right in. Inhale. Well, they are pretty good. They are pretty tasty.
I had a nice long sleeve shirt, and all of a sudden it was a short sleeve shirt. I'm like, how'd that happen?
You should have. That's I grew up in a big family. Okay, you didn't get that second pork. You didn't get that second pork chop till the first one was gone. You know what I mean?
Well, I know Jeff will buy you whatever sausage you need.
Oh, Jeff, I long for Jeff. We've been Instagramming.
Call me, Jeff.
Scotty, out of the way. Timmy, hug.
Oh my God.
Hey, any word on the Jets ownership?
Oh, you're such a joke maker. Don't even stop. So, this, we couldn't pull this stuff off if Russ was here right now. He would be.
Yeah, oh no. The voice of reason would be steer us back on track.
It's always a different show when Russ is on than when we. That's for damn sure. All right. So, what moves do the Red Sox make? Give me some predictions.
Hine must have a plan. I have no idea, but
well, there's got to be an outfielder out there. He has to get an outfielder. Yeah. And I did, and a quality infielder. I wouldn't mind Correa. You could move Xander.
Oh, okay. Well,
push him over to second. Let Correa play short, or vice versa. I would think the former.
The talk is now that he's going back to Houston.
Yeah, but you do need another infielder. That way, KK can play center field. He doesn't have to play second base. Because Arroyo, you flip a coin whether he can play or not.
Well, if JBJ's out there, he's in center then, right?
No, they would put Kiki at center because he doesn't. That's his.
He doesn't have the arm
out there.
JBJ and right then.
Yeah, JB. That's one thing he has is the arm, and he can cover that ground. But still, what did he hit last year, Tim? Like 150?
Wait, breaking news: Von Miller agrees to $120 million contract.
With who?
Breaking news. Hold on, I'll tell you right now.
The Rams, right?
With the Rams, yeah.
Yeah. But Renfro was terrible in the playoffs. He was fantastic in the regular season. Over 30.
Oh, great. He's got the arm, but he can't catch the ball.
No, but I'm saying, how are you going to fill that gap of Renfro's production, and then you put in a guy who's going to have 3 home runs and bat 160?
Yeah.
There's no way he can be a starting outfielder.
He's batting 100 points less than Renfro and 25 homers less than Renfro.
That will just be a black hole. We had a nice lineup in the playoffs last year. This will just be especially when we go against pitching. Now we're going to have the first baseman there, the young kid, Dahlbeck, against good pitching, nothing. JBJ, nothing. I mean, you're really putting yourself at a disadvantage here.
Well, Timmy, you lost your dream of having JD bat 6 now because with Schwarber gone, that's not happening.
That just messes this whole lineup up,
And that really
it was the second half.
Well, that proved to be once Schwarber came and started playing, that lineup in the regular season, and of course in the
playoffs. Remember they went on that terrific losing streak for like a month and a half after because everyone was out because of COVID. Remember?
Yeah,
they were all unvaccinated.
But
they all had to do the 14 days.
I mean, there really weren't many holes. There really weren't many holes in that playoff lineup. Now you're looking at some gaping holes.
Yeah, it's almost like they're blowing the freaking team up. But we actually said after the season, you have to give us some credit, is that we said there's, going to be a lot of different players on this team. We couldn't imagine that there wouldn't be any good ones coming back.
I know.
Well, that in the playoff roster, you're only using about 5 pitches, right? And a lot of these guys didn't get exposed when they had to go down to Perez. They got screwed, right?
I do have to believe Hein Bloom has a plan. I have to believe it. I have to believe it.
The irony of all of this is if the Red Sox were to sign Freddie Freeman, oh my God, then I'm going from black and white to color right now because I love Freddie Freeman. I just think that he is one of the best players in baseball and has been for a long time.
Then you could put Dahlbeck in the outfield. I wouldn't mind so much because the lineup would seat better. He's right-handed too, right?
But then you could also trade JD in the next couple of weeks. If you picked up Freeman and you knew you could bring up Casas as a DH also, and Dahlbeck and Casas, you could then peddle Martinez and try to get some pitching.
Wait, Casas can't play a position?
Well, he's a first
baseman
or DH. But Freddie Freeman is a superstar. Freddie Freeman would do so remarkable at
He
Fenway
was the
Park.
MVP last year. And
But
his stats weren't that overwhelming though either.
he's
So what kind of money would it take to get him?
Well, but if
10-year contract?
no, it's 6-year deal. I think probably about 180. And I do it. I pay Freddie Freeman $30 million a year. Absolutely, I don't care.
How old is he?
32. He's that good. That kid's gonna be good for a long time. I'm all in. And I'm telling you something. If the Tampa Bay Rays, who I'm hearing are in on Freeman, if that little shit organization that doesn't spend a dime on anyone outbids the Boston Red Sox, who sell out every freaking game, and the Rays can't sell out playoff games, if they outbid the Boston Red Sox, I'm protesting at John Henry's house. You guys have to join me. I'm literally going to handcuff.
Wait, we can do Kraft and Henry's house all in one
Well,
day.
the more I see, the more I'm sure that Heim was hired for the purpose of putting a very economical team out there. Don't you think?
No. He's
A little mix. I would say he's hired to do a mix. He do a lot of the things. Do a lot of the things that he did in Tampa, within reason, and then he would have deeper pockets here too, So
but also
take the Wonder Boy and also give him some dough to work with.
But also,
he did is stock his Tampa's farm system where they're all down south. They get the Southerners for free down there.
But Dombrowski had gutted the farm system, Joe and Timmy. He had gutted that. So
name one guy that he traded, one prospect that he traded other than the kid in the White Sox that made the
talk about. He gutted the whole thing. Mancada, Kopech, in the.
Mancada, he's done well. He's almost an all-star. He's close to all-star status.
No, he gave up a number of prospects that have done really well. Dubon, who I liked a lot in Portland. I used to see him a lot, the second baseman. He gave him part of on the Travis Shaw deal. He's given away a lot of guys that have ended up being pretty good players, but he did gut the system. So he did get rid of, whether they developed or not, he gave them away.
He cleared the table of all their chips.
And they had value. Remember, they're chips that don't, like you said, that don't have any. Didn't have any value in prospects anymore.
Yeah, whether they turned out to be good or not, they were prospective. Chips,
they brought back good players, and he gutted that. Heim has built it up.
Let's do something with them. Is he going to be Danny Ainge and sit on these draft picks or chips, or is he going to do something with them?
Well, that's the thing. The problem is, guys, is that we should have won a World Series last year. I'm absolutely convinced. When we
missed an opportunity when that wasn't called strike three there.
When Xander Bogaerts hit that home run of Zach Greinke in the first inning of Game 4, after we wiped him out in Game 3, I was with Timmy. I thought for sure, and Atlanta got into the World Series, that we would have won that World Series.
They ran out of juice, though. They just ran out of juice.
But so now our expectations are great. Playoffs.
I mean, we were very excited. Very excited to go into this year, right? We were very excited to go into this year. We were all pumped up and fired, thinking we're going to get better, right? We're going to get better than last. We were good last year. We're going to get better.
Because there's no more. I love playoff hockey. I know, Timmy, you go all the games, but to me, there's nothing more fun than playoff baseball at Fenway Park.
Last year was an absolute blast at Fenway Park.
Oh my God!
Everyone I've talked to said maybe the best game they ever went to was that New York game you guys went to.
Oh, that was the best. That place was on its feet for 9 innings.
So many people.
I think Timmy mentioned it. That was the loudest I've heard a Boston crowd since the old Garden with the Bird era.
Yeah, for 9 innings.
Yeah,
went all the way through.
When the Bird era and when they used to explode after, oh my God.
So if there was any question, that this town could become a Red Sox crazy town again, well, it was answered right there.
Yeah, that was incredible. That energy was unbelievable.
Well, they have a young crowd. Young people have more energy.
Yeah, they sure do.
Now they have them. Now he's going to keep them.
Yeah, and and making deals. Maybe you make one deal like you made with the Renfro deal, one deal like that every 10 years.
Yeah.
That's not a blueprint for how you go about your daily trading and making those kind of deals. But Nellis and Hamilton are not huge prospects that they got back from Milwaukee. I don't understand that. I want to give him the benefit of the doubt, but there, and Freeman would kind of answer the question of what the hell is he doing?
Well, let's see him do it. Let's hope he does it.
Because Freeman's the best, to me, Freeman's the best free agent out there.
But so far, he doesn't write big contracts. I mean, that's unless he breaks from his DNA completely, it's not going to happen.
Correa would have a little more versatility to him.
Yeah, I don't like Correa. He's a pain in the ass. I mean, I'll take
he's a good player.
I'll take him because I like the best players.
I bet you if you looked at his numbers, had better numbers than Freddie Freeman last year.
I don't know. No, look, that's very interesting. Who would you take, Freeman or Correa?
I think I'd take Correa.
Yeah.
Just on the versatility issue.
Okay.
Freddie would be first baseman DH.
Timmy, knowing that if Correa comes, Xander's gone.
No, Xander would answer our outfield problem too. He could put him in left.
Xander
That's
said
been your plan for a long time.
Yeah, but Xander said he's only playing shortstop.
Yeah, I heard
Now,
that.
how many home runs does Correa hit?
He's probably a 30 home run guy.
30 home runs.
Yeah, and
I think he got close to 40 one time.
How old is he?
probably what, 28, 29, right?
So
Yeah,
the same age.
No, he's quite a bit younger than Freddie.
I'll take the versatility. I think you can pick up a big hitting first baseman later in the season when you need one.
Okay,
I'll take Correa.
yeah, that's a great point. Name in our lifetime a star first baseman for the Boston Red Sox.
George Scott.
Star. George, I love George, but wasn't a star. Come on, name
Move on.
The Boomer. Come on.
Yeah.
Move on.
I'll give you Mo Vaughn for sure. Yes.
Kai Yastrzemski.
Yeah.
At the end of his career, yeah.
But I loved Cecil Cooper. I just want to
Mo Vaughn.
Mo Vaughn is the only one in our lifetime, right?
In a position where back in the 60s, they had superstars every year.
Yeah. No, but
60s and 70s, it was all the perennial all-stars. Pete Reynolds and them winning the batting title every year.
But just think about it. The Red Sox success over all these years, and we've had Flotsam and Jetsam as first baseman. Minkiewicz was the first baseman in the 2004. Who was 7? Was it Youkilis in 7?
Youkilis was pretty good, right?
Yeah, Euclid moved over from third.
He had moved over, right?
Good.
In 18, it was Mitch Moreland, right?
Mitchie doubles.
Who was 13? Who was the first baseman in 13?
I'm drawing a blank.
I completely don't even, but he couldn't have been that good.
No, it was platooned. Remember, there was 2 guys that they just picked up.
Yeah.
They picked up off the scrap heap, and platooning they did really well.
We know the Red Sox have a history, and the first base, of course, is a power position, of having crappy first basemen. Freddie Freeman could end up the best first baseman in our lifetime.
Except for George Scott.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I love the Boomer too, except for George Scott. I'm not gonna. I'm definitely not gonna go.
Don't be tossing the Boomer.
And Mo Vaughn when he stays out of the Foxy Lady.
I
Be
know,
Pacific. Right? That my best line I heard George Scott say was somebody overheard him talking on the payphone. He said, "Hunt, baby, be Pacific."
Oh, I loved him. I got to tell a quick story before we go. When I worked in '86, Boomer was on the downward end of his life, and so
he had a big downward too.
He used to, for a long time. So he used to go into the visiting locker room and with sports memorabilia, bats and stuff, and have the players sign it. And so after a while, the players started to complain, the visitor players. So they made me kick him out. Oh my God. Oh my. The last thing in the world I wanted to do was kick out George Scott out. Oh my God. And he was cussing. I had to escort him out of the park.
Was he a big human being, Scotty? Was he a big guy?
Oh, he's very heavy then. Very
Yeah, and got much bigger.
yeah,
Was he
very
tall?
unhealthy.
How tall was
Oh,
6'2"?
geez, he's definitely tall. I would say he was 6'1", probably
Okay.
6'2". Yeah, he was a big
he?
guy.
He was, you know, the 67 and 68, he was my favorite player. I
Oh,
loved him at
yeah.
first base.
So much
Loved him.
personality, right?
Yeah.
Such a big swing.
No,
He never may have made the major leagues now with that big swing.
and
Not-
the glove he had at first, he was a vacuum. He was
Oh.
unbelievable.
He's so
One of the
much-
best fielding
He
first
looks
basemen
so
ever.
graceful for such a big man.
Yeah, that I just remember that big first baseman, but scooping everything up, you know.
Yeah, that was a sad case, and the Red Sox did not treat him well, and he said that all the way out the door while I was escorting him. F the Red Sox, F the Red Sox. So not fun. All right, well that's
Right back the next night.
That's our show for tonight. Want to thank Ian behind the scenes. Thank you, Ian. Want to thank the fellas. Please check us out on our website at thegrandstanders.com and tune in again next Wednesday night at 6:30 for another edition of Grandstanders Live. I'm your host, Scott Kerman. Have a great and happy night.